We need an ecosystem if digital assets are going to succeed, and Ripple's not going to build that ecosystem single-handedly. Twitter can't be in the cell phone business and the Wi-Fi business, and they can't be in every business, and neither can we.
Ripple, they can't do it all. They're building critical infrastructure for enterprise payments, institutional liquidity, and that mission matters for blockchain adoption. But they're not going to chase every opportunity. Billion-dollar blockchain businesses, they're being left on the table, these opportunities that other chains come in and take. See, this is where the Zhao DAO comes in. If there's a real-world problem, we want the XRP Ledger solving it. The future should run on XRP. Now, the Zhao DAO, it starts with grants, basic funding to support developers, validators, wallets, infrastructure, but it doesn't stop there. The DAO can also make investments, meaning it can own a share of the very businesses it helps launch. And the profits, well, it can be shared with DAO members. The more real-world activity that flows over the XRP Ledger, the more value and liquidity that even Ripple themselves can tap into, making the network stronger, more useful, and more competitive. Really a turning point for the XRP Ledger. Zhao DAO giving XRP holders a real voice for the first time. Imagine a world where XRP holders don't just own tokens, sitting there doing nothing. You help shape the future of this ecosystem. And why not? When it comes to crypto communities, the XRP ecosystem, we understand what it is to use a technology to solve real problems. You should have a voice. You should be involved in the future of this blockchain. The Zhao DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, setting a new standard for blockchain decentralization. The DAO will work closely with Ripple, of course, but it will retain its independence. Ripple will have no influence over the things we fund or the direction of this DAO. It is self-governed. This isn't just some crypto project. It's a fundamental shift on how blockchain communities govern themselves. Why do you want to do this? What is the benefit for you? Well, first and foremost, a community voice. Decide what projects are funded based on real-world value. Not hype, not marketing promises. Your XRP that you already hold, no new investment to make, gives you direct input on the ecosystem development. Profit sharing. DAO investments can generate significant revenue streams, and as a member, you share in the upside. When the Zhao funds projects and they succeed, members benefit directly. Builder support. They need it out there. And this is going to help talented developers via grants, investments, venture capital connections, support real innovation on the XRP Ledger. The users of this blockchain will say, hey, yes, that's valuable. We would use that, and you would know best. XRP Ledger's future. This is to ensure the XRP Ledger becomes the go-to solution for real-world problems. If there's a challenge that needs solving, we want the XRP Ledger to be the answer, to be the first answer. I'm going to let Fabio, co-founder of the Zhao DAO, discuss the caps to protect your voting power and your profit sharing.
Now you probably say, okay, the voting, it's always been unbiased. Whoever's got more XRP usually wins, right? So we've actually managed to actually cap the voting structure. So we kept it at 0.05% of the total value of the membership XRP held in those wallets, which means that the majority of whales have only got so much that they can actually cap and vote. We actually want a lot more of individuals to come through and actually be able to vote. And that applies also to the profits. So the profits are kept, which means that even the small fish, if you want to call it that way, will eventually get something in return. So your $10 eventually will be repaid possibly in the first year of profits that the Zhao DAO makes.
So you just heard Fabio talk about the safeguards there to stop whales from controlling the vote or taking all the profits. They want everyone to be able to participate and to benefit from potential profits of the Zhao DAO. Now, the DAO will meticulously track all income streams, expenses, calculate net profit with full transparency to the members. And then guess what happens? The members vote. What do we do with those profits? Do we take them as a distribution, or do we invest those into new businesses, new opportunities? And I heard a few people out there assume that, you know what, members will always choose to take the money. I wouldn't be so sure with this XRP community. Do they sell every time XRP goes up? No, they have a very long-term perspective, and I expect if they see success and they see the Zhao DAO making profits, a lot of people will choose to compound, to make new investments to grow the Zhao DAO's holdings. Now remember, there's no tokens to buy for the Zhao DAO. There's no investments to make. Your profits are calculated based on how much XRP you hold. And even more importantly, how much XRP you hold in your self-custody wallet. They're going to take monthly snapshots, and then when it's time, they'll put it up to vote. Do you want to take your profits, or do you want to reinvest them in new opportunities? In those profit-sharing caps, they ensure that even small holders receive something meaningful from the Zhao DAO's success. We don't have to wait for the Zhao DAO to make strategic investments. We already have our first business asset. I know Santiago has been working very hard on this, co-founder of the Zhao DAO. We have the Zhao DAO Hub. It's an online marketplace for goods and services, and I'm going to use this as well. I need some graphics design and other work for this YouTube channel, and I'm going to take it to the Zhao DAO Hub to find those people, those services that I need. And this could be, if successful, a significant business asset that will incorporate not just people from the XRP community, but also adjacent blockchain communities. Global, cross-chain, massive in size and scale. What are some real-world examples of things that we would want to fund? Well, this is a quote from the co-founder of the Zhao DAO, Fabio. He says, if it solves a real-world problem and it uses XRP Ledger, the Zhao DAO wants to help build it. Of course, there's going to be traditional use cases. You know that. DeFi lending, borrowing platforms, tokenized real estate, NFT marketplaces, cross-border payment solutions, all the regular stuff, but also innovative applications that you use literally in the real world. Coffee shops that accept XRP for payments, blockchain-based loyalty programs, online tutoring platforms with XRP micropayments, digital storefronts with handmade goods, like whatever you can think of. If XRP helps streamline that business, make it more efficient, we want it used. And that's the kind of things we're looking for. You may have an out-of-the-box idea yourself. This is where you would come to meet developers, investors, things like that, to make that a reality. How to join? No gimmicks, just XRP, just the way it should be. Pay a one-time fee. It's $10. Lifetime membership payable in XRP. No reoccurring charges, complicated tokenomics. You pay your $10 and you're part of an exclusive club for life. You are part of the Zhao DAO. Receive membership NFT. Your membership is represented by a non-transferable NFT minted directly on the XRP Ledger, which you hold in your self-custody wallet. Remember, you're not moving your XRP, you're not staking it. You hold it in self-custody like you already do. And that NFT, that's your admission into the DAO. Unlock full participation with membership, gain immediate access to voting rights, proposal submission capabilities, and profit-sharing eligibility. Empowering collaboration and fueling innovation. Developer grants, we've talked about funding for developers, validators, branding initiatives. Strategic investments, there's different ways you will approach different projects. Some you may just want to give grants, but others, hey, there might be a ton of upside here. We'd rather, go along for the ride as an investor. Of course, the DAO members would make those distinctions. Connect your hub, and this is the important one that I think most people will miss. Right now, if you want to hire a dev, who do you get? Who's trustworthy? Who has the real talent here? If you want to make an investment, what are the real projects? It's tough. Everything is scattered. This brings everything together under one community, so it's easy for everyone to meet. VCs to meet builders, users to meet those projects that are most exciting. XRP holder driven, all decisions made by community votes, not centralized authority, the way that it should be. US-based DAO LLC, structured to provide clear legal frameworks and member protections. Regulatory compliance, full adherence to US data laws, privacy standards, and financial regulations, and community control. Future data and privacy decisions require explicit DAO approval through membership voting. This is one that comes up a lot. When you're a member of the Zhao DAO, you do not have to give anything about your identity. Your name, your ad, nothing. You could be totally anonymous. When you do have to give information is when you are profit sharing. If you want to take part in getting paid from the Zhao DAO investments, well, then you do have to give up your identity, and it's going to be based on the applicable tax laws in your region. Here in the U.S., you got to send them your tax information so they can report that. And they're looking to have, broad support of every territory. So anyone that's interested can participate. But outside of earnings and complying with tax, there is no requirement. You're never going to give your identity information up. And a lot of people, some people may just want to participate in the DAO. And if you don't want to receive income From the investments, you can pass on that and just stay totally anonymous. That's up to you. That's fine. Built for the long haul. Transparent treasury. On-ledger treasury management ensures complete transparency in how funds are allocated and used. Every XRP is publicly trackable. The future of finance. This is what it's all about. Community governance. DAO votes determine all funding decisions. There's no gatekeeper that's going to override you, do what they want. No, you are literally running this thing. Sustainable development, support for long-term builders, and genuine innovation. So this is going to help us as the DAO, because if we fund good stuff, especially if we invest in good projects, well, we're going to make some profits, right? And people can take part in that upside. But further, it's just going to, everyone on the XRP Ledger, whether you're an investor in the token, whether you're someone that leverages this technology, the more building that's happening, the more problems that are being solved, the more adopted this technology is, the better off everybody's going to be. And lastly, direct democracy. Your XRP equals your vote, your future. And to me, that's one of the most exciting parts, because this sets a new standard for decentralization in this industry. When some maxi of some other chain tries to claim the XRP Ledger is not decentralized, I'll say, fine. What DAO do you participate on your chain of choice? Like, this is going to set the standard in this industry. It is going to help this blockchain be adopted and to grow, and that adds a lot of real-world value. Help build XRP's future. Don't just watch it happen. Don't wait for others. Join the DAO and shape the direction. Support builders, but share on the upside. The XRP Ledger is ready. Let's fund the future. Let's build a real community. A community that's about utility and solving real-world problems. That's what this technology has always been about. If we can solve small problems, medium problems, billion-dollar problems, why not? Why is there anything that we do not want XRP Ledger to be used in if it's the most efficient way to build the future? All of it matters. That's what this technology is for. That is why it is open source. So anyone with an idea, anyone that wants to build value can. And the Zhao DAO is going to help that happen. For those of you that made it this far, I got two big asks for you. Number one, if you have friends and family that are real crypto enthusiasts like we are, send them this video direct. Either a text message, a DM, get it to the real people out there that are interested in the future of blockchain, the future of solving real world problems. It's not so much getting it to everyone, but the right people in our community. And lastly, there'll be a link down below. You see it right here on the website, Zhao DAO coming soon. Get yourself on the email list so you can get the most up-to-date information and you will know when we launch. Lastly, if you have any questions, put them down below, and I will ensure that they get answered. If I can't answer them, I'll track down the big dogs, Fabio, Santiago, the co-founders of the Zhao DAO. If I don't know it, they definitely know the answer, and I will get every question you have answered direct. The Zhao DAO, it will be as great as we make it, because it is a community, and with the utility of the XRP Ledger and the real-world problems that can be solved, this could be bigger than you could imagine. Put your name on that email list, and I can't wait for launch.